thrive. Through these programs, we are just giving our small bit back into the society. So thank you for once again coming into the workshop today. So these are the learning outcomes that we are looking at achieving. Uh, Realizing and acknowledging the stress and uncertainty in the environment, also within us, and being able to find ways to talk about it, and being able to, create a space for, for everybody here, and to appreciate that people deal with stress differently, right? And how do we manage stress for self and others during these uncertain times? How do we truly move from paralyzing to catalyzing? Okay, so I'll stop here and I would invite you to have a look at the group map, which is going to be our quick learning contract that we will strike. Imagine you are in Las Vegas, whatever happens here stays here. However, there's a small disclaimer, this program is being recorded. I hope if that's not a problem, can we continue to record the session? You could put your answers in chat if somebody doesn't agree. Somebody doesn't want us to record the session, please put it in the chat so that we will stop the recording. And here we go. I am putting the link in the chat. Some of us could just go to the group map and start typing our idea of learning contract. What do we expect from the program today? And what could be expected from each other as well? Some of the house rules that we would like to stick to while we are working together today. So, hi everybody, good to see you all on one screen. So this is what I am referring to. Let me share the screen. Yeah, I can see Sapna joining in, Francis joining in. Yeah, those who could join, that's good. Otherwise, you could even just call it out. What do you want out of this workshop? Some voices would be good. I can type for you. Okay. इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई?
Can you elaborate a little more? I mean, I'm confused somewhere actually.
Okay. So I see somebody has typed, I want to feel empowered to be a catalyst. Okay, the program's name today is Moving from Paralysing to Catalysing, Himanshu. And I showed a couple of objectives of why we are conducting this workshop today. So what is it that you want to achieve out of this meeting together, for next good 1 hour, 20 minutes that we are together? What is it that you would like to really feel joyous about by the end?
I mean, by talking with people, I want to actually shift my mind from the negative news or, all that is happening outside and, creating something which can be beneficial for people. Wow. That's what I'm actually looking for.
Thank you.
How to stay focused in the age of distraction.
Very nice. Thank you. How to stay focused in this era of distraction. Okay, what else?
Hey Deep, I think I want to see how I can overcome my mental block. This is Chandra.
Sure, Chandra, thank you. You just elaborate a bit and yeah, that'll be great.
Yes, means a lot of times I myself think like, I'm not good for this task, or I won't be able to do this or that. So but that is quite feasible. Means under pressure we do those activities, but before doing those activities these kind of thoughts comes in mind, and it actually delays the overall uh, action from my side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I mean.
Sure, sure. Sounds good. Thanks, Chandra, for elaborating on that. What else? What do we expect from each other? These are some great outcomes that we would like to achieve by the end of this or during this workshop today.
How to
Nice.
engage your teams to get the best out of them.
Very nice. Great. Is that Manmeet?
That's correct.
Oh, nice. Okay. How to engage your teams to get the best out of them. Okay. What else? Any expectation that we have from each other while we are together?
Hello, Deep. Can I add something?
Please. Please.
So, what to want out of this, right? So in the prevailing scenario, so much of absence of positivity around. So keeping that thing in mind, how to still remain upbeat, and then how to get into the mode of a catalyst, because before you touch upon others to add to their life, it is of paramount importance that I myself remain very upbeat, irrespective of what is happening around. So that is what I would like to know. Looking
Very
forward to.
nice. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And change starts from
Thank
within.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from self. Absolutely.
Also, one more point: how to strike a work-life balance, especially in the work from home scenario.
Mm-hmm. Work from home dynamics. How to balance work-life balance. Yeah, okay. Work life. Okay, great. Some of this we are going to certainly talk about and work with uh, in our act of balancing well-being and productivity workshop, which is on day 4. Yeah, and some of it certainly can be tackled today. How to still remain upbeat amidst so much of chaos. How to engage your teams. Learning to be catalyst who can ignite strength for people and community. How nice that is. Great. Okay. So our expectation from each other are coming up on the screen. Collaborative learning. I would like to really learn from fellow attendees. Let's see how it proceeds. Yes, looking forward. Thanks for the curiosity. What our house rules should be: staying focused, participative, be focused, non-distractive, friendly group with an open mind and respect for different point of views. Awesome. Great. Thank you. Yes, I think these are some fundamentals that we can all maintain. Thanks for putting your ideas out there. Non-judgmental and sharing experience with each other. How beautiful that could be if we can stay non-judgmental and share our experiences with each other. That's the whole idea of today's space as well that we've created. Awesome. So I think these are some great house rules. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they're still coming in, exploring ideas without judgment, looking quite similar to each other. Right. Right. So, in the interest of time, I would just like to just scroll it up for you to see. Um, Anything that you would like to add, you can quickly add. Just put it in the chat box and add it here for you, or you could add it directly. Staying focused, have a space for yourself, stay away from
Already,
negativities. Yes. Jatin, were you saying something?
I think I've already written it. Do you want me to like speak as well? So it's what I want from this session is basically learning to be a catalyst coach who can ignite strength strength from people in community. What do I expect from each other? It's basically collaborative learning. And for me, the house rules are stay focused and participative.
Nice. Thank you. Thanks for summing it up beautifully. All right. So thank you everybody for setting up those house rules for all of us to stay anchored to. And okay, so some of us have just joined in. I'm just scrolling through the slides. These are the outcomes we're looking at today. Some technology and tools info. There is a small tool called Annotate. Some of us might already know, some might not be knowing. Why are we discussing this? Because going forward in the workshop, I might invite you to just annotate and stamp at different places on the slide that we are going to project. So this is how you can actually check your toolkit. Where you see the recording is happening, there is an annotate option on top. And at the bottom of your screen, you will also find different icons. A pen icon is the annotate icon. So it depends where you are. You could use this tool to work on Zoom, or simply just put in the chat box if there is a question that we're asking. Thank you. So, all right, the very first question that I have for the group is, if you were to annotate about how you're feeling right now, here and now in the moment, which card would you pick up? Which card would you stamp on?
Curious.
Wow. Kshitij, you are across all cards, all feelings, you can see. Receptive Payal, thank you. Empowered in the Jeet, Meran, thank you. Someone's worried and that's okay. Let's acknowledge. Okay. All right. Curious, thanks Himanshu, Suman. Sapna is compassionate. Yeah. Priyanka is loving.
Excited.
Excited, thanks Manmeet. What else is emerging for you? How are you feeling? Okay, Devinder says receptive. Francis says empowered. Vidhi says receptive as well. Trusting, compassionate. Nice. Abhijit, thank you.
Deep, can we do two?
Yeah, absolutely, Sapna. It could be
because
different
apart from
emotions.
compassionate, I'm also feeling exhausted.
That's okay.
So in fact, without asking you, I have opted for two.
Yes. Please feel free. This is your playground. Yeah. Whatever
Right.
you feel like right now. Yes. I also
And
hear Sapna.
in the extreme top left, it is longing, right?
Longing, yes.
So definitely I include that card as well, because longing to meet people, longing to do classroom training programs, longing to get together, huddles and all.
Yeah.
Longing to get back to Let's Walk Gurgaon walks.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. However you're feeling, it's perfectly all right. Curious and disappointed also, Himanshu. It's okay. Okay. Someone's feeling loving, also free. So the range is pretty wide open. Nice. Hadi is feeling loved. Okay, Hadi, thank you. Devendra is feeling empowered too. Nice. Peaceful. Very nice. Okay. That's a good place to start, and that tells me most of us have also learned a new skill of annotate, how to annotate on. Thanks, Francis. Glad you like the cards, and yeah, they are indeed reflective. Great. So, if anybody wants to just share while they're feeling this, what's making them feel, uh, and label their emotions as they have labeled. Anybody could speak. One or two is fine.
Should I start?
Yeah,
Should I
sure.
start?
Yes.
If nobody else. No, so I'm maybe I bring in a different perspective, being an educator and perhaps the only one here. It's been a long fight to get the kids back to school, to have normalcy in their lives, to try and make school as normal as it was earlier, and that's a bit that's a long road. That's a long road, and actually, honestly, we were not prepared for the second wave at all, and we were at that stage where we were thinking of actually opening schools and getting our children back. And suddenly, this second wave hit us, which has we've all experienced very close to our homes, losses in children's homes, in teachers' homes, colleagues' homes, and that has left us exhausted, as I said, and of course the compassion, because wherever possible we've tried to help, we have tried to pitch in, we've tried to run around, and yet you feel at moments you feel so helpless because you are sitting at home and trying to do things, and suddenly the things outside are not looking bright. Sorry to be sounding negative if I am, but it's been a long road. It's been a long road, and especially from the children's point of view, our hearts absolutely go out to them. So just wanted to say.
Thank you, Sapna. And hence, I think you chose, along with being compassionate, you chose exhausted. And we can completely understand um, where could you be coming from. It's not been easy for anybody. And
Yeah,
of course, for schools, they could never imagine such a time. Uh,
yeah.
Absolutely. Our education system has been shaken fully. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your emotions, your state right now, Sapna, with us. Anybody else would like to share?
May I?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
So I think, the pandemic, apart from the fact that it's taken away too much from us in terms of our loved ones, our friends, especially the second wave, it's been devastating for many of us. So, every single day you're hearing some news or the other. But at the same time, I think there has been a lot of positivity as well. We need to count our blessings. The fact that we are still alive, the fact that we still have technology to connect with each other is amazing. I think this is something which we really, really do not, we actually take it for granted and we do not give it a thought. If we are in the moment and if we look at the fact that we are able to connect with each other, it's fantastic. So for me personally, I think the lockdown, not just this one, but also the previous year, has been great because on the work front, we've been able to connect on a regular basis, which was a rarity in the past. So sharing updates, collaborate more, and getting more out of the employees, engaging more. We've also focused on operation excellence. It's been a great journey. But yeah, at the same time, the reality is that things aren't that good outside. So, you don't know what's going to happen next. And that's the
Mm.
uncertainty, that we are living with.
Mm.
So we need to be prepared for the unprepared. And that's a tough one. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of positives that we need to look at in terms of the blessings that we have. So if we count our blessings, I think we've got much more. You look at the migrants, migrant workers, they had a terrible, terrible time last year. They
Mm.
had nowhere to go, no option but just to go walk back home. I mean, it was devastating for them as well. And look at the state of affairs now with people just, going from door to door, um, begging for oxygen cylinders or medicines. You see WhatsApp group flooded with messages. But then I think what is important for us to do is in a way or the other, if we can contribute just to bring a smile on each other's faces, that'll make a difference. So yeah, thanks.
Mm, mm, mm. Sure. Thank you so much for sharing your heart, Manmeet, and absolutely can't deny the fact that we got to be more grateful as much as possible amidst this chaos is something that's working out for us. So thanks for sharing your views. Absolutely. So a very quick grounding that we could all do right now. Uh, Help me understand if you can hear the music. Are you able to hear the music yet? Is it audible?
No.
No, Deep.
No. Okay. Okay. Let me just share. Can you hear it?
Yeah, it is audible now.
Yeah.
Get the flute.
So I understand we are coming from different emotional states. I thought, why not just take 1 minute of our times and just try to get connected to ourselves. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, get connected to all your senses, the sense of touch, where you're sitting, your feet on the floor. As you breathe in and breathe out, get connected to the sense of listening, whatever you're able to listen in, all the sounds, voices, noises around you, just listen in. As you breathe in and breathe out, get connected to the sense of taste, the taste in your mouth right now. Just breathe in and breathe out. Get connected to the sense of smell, whatever aroma, fragrance, smells are around you. You could pay all your attention to the sense of smell. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly raise your gaze, touch your eyes, and get connected to whatever is around you. Look around, get connected to the sense of seeing, whatever you're seeing around you. Look at every detail of whatever is lying around you. Just breathe in and breathe out. Feel the connection to all your senses. And this quick 30 seconds to 1 minute mindfulness is called, I call it senses mindfulness. This just helps us to, how do you feel by the way? Anybody could just say.
Really good.
Okay.
I think guided meditation always helps. So if someone can guide along the way, of course, listening to music is something that we can easily do. But if someone can actually guide us through that process, it really makes a difference. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So I call it senses meditation. We're going to talk about this and also a senses framework in the act of balancing and well-being program that we're going to conduct on the day 4, which is which is around balancing well-being and productivity, and how can this boost our productivity and well-being both. So we're going to talk in detail. So today I'm just going to touch upon which emotional states can be catalyst for us. Uh, if you could name a few feelings, and which emotional states could paralyze us. Anybody could just call it out.
So I think anger is also a state which actually, if you want to channelize that, because anger actually gets a lot of energy. So if you can channelize it in the right way, it can be a huge catalyst. And I've observed that, by being mindful of your anger, if you can channelize that energy into something positive, and because that's a very action-driven force which helps you to get things done. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to see how do we channelize emotions. Okay, a peaceful mind, peacefulness is catalyzing. Okay, thanks, Vidhi. Okay.
As for Catalyst, I think speak up is something which I recently introduced within myself. Speak up anything or everything, whatever is there in your mind. So and get it clear. So that is something which I think I'm finding it very useful for me. Paralyze, I think in current scenario, I can say that feeling like someone is cheated us, very close to us, who had cheated us. Those kind of feelings are stops us or puts a kind of block.
Okay, and I also see Sapna sharing fear can be both catalyst and paralytic. Yeah, happiness can be catalyst, helplessness can be paralytic. Yeah, uh, impulsiveness is paralyzing, joy, love is more towards catalyzing, and anger, getting upset, more towards paralyzing. Thanks, Abhijit. Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Feeling safe, encouraged, inspired, hopeful is catalyzing. Thanks, Amit. Positivity, catalytic, yes. Enthusiastic, love, joy, motivated, catalyst. Absolutely, Indijit. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I'm going to introduce to you one of the frameworks, and I'm going to invite you to, just tell me which side is paralyzing and which side of the axis is catalyzing.
Left side would be paralyzing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm going to annotate para here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So no rocket science, but do you see that you've traveled or you've gone past some of the emotions over last few days? Paralyzing and catalyzing. So as per Henry's axis, this is derived from emotional intelligence. And this has been researched that I'm going to show you what happens when we are towards the left hand side and what happens to our body in our physiology and our psychology when we are towards the right hand side. So as you can see, our brain gets into a freeze and faint mode when we are towards the left hand side. A low performance starts to happen. Cortisol is a hormone which we are going to look at what all does it do, what bad does it do to our bodies. And DHEA is a happy hormone, anti-aging hormone that we say gets produced when we travel between the right and side, be it above or bottom, but some are related to high performance and some are related to low energy yet positive. Sometimes they can be low energy yet positive, which is serenity, inner balance, forgiveness, tolerance, compassion. Low energy yet positive emotions, they would still generate DHEA in our bodies. And I'm going to take you through what really does that mean for us.
I think
And
one word which is missing here is purpose. So if a person has purpose, they can actually go much beyond motivation and appreciation and love. Yeah.
so purpose really isn't an emotion. It is outcome of being purposeful could be staying motivated, appreciative, passionate, uh, having that inner balance. Okay, I'm going after this. I'm not doing something for no reason. Feeling compassionate because of being purposeful. So purpose, yes, absolutely. That's a big motivation one can certainly have, right? And find meaning in small things also is really something that can put us towards the right hand side of the Henry's axis. Let me just take you through what happens when we are on the left hand side. The cortisol. When cortisol gets excess in our body, this is what happens as you see on the screen. Yeah, so I need not call it out, but just for our information, I'm just putting it out on the screen that, people might find these effects of excess cortisol in the body, the stress hormone. Yeah. And what happens with increased DHEA, which is due to the positive emotions? It's known for improving our energy. It's known for improving our mood. It keeps the heart health in check. It improves strength. It creates a stronger brain. And yeah, I think there are much known effects of a higher DHEA for people who are willing to improve strength and endurance, who are working out, women who wants to give birth and wants to increase fertility rate. This is important. Those who don't want to have wrinkles sooner on their face. So DHEA helps them stay young inside out. So these are a couple of differences between the two. That's what happens to our body, to our physiology. Now there's some time that I want to give you in breakout rooms, and I don't want to bore you further. And I invite all the coaches in the room right now. I'll be putting into random breakout rooms. Let's see. I invite all the coaches in the room to take a screenshot of this. And if you could moderate the conversation in your rooms, or those who are not coaches but can help moderate the conversation, we're going to give you good 20 minutes for this conversation to happen. Please lay out everything that you have inside you, because this is going to support you to see the impact. Right. So I'm going to, yes.
Hi, Deep.
Hi.
I have a query. I'm
Yes.
Ranjana here.
Yes, Ranjana. Go ahead.
On the right side, the bottom, the section of the axis, why is that showing like you mentioned as low energy feeling? Compassion, tolerance, forgiveness. And why is it showing as low energy? Though it is the catalyzing side.
I would just invite you to answer to a question, Ranjana. Yeah, when you meditate,
Yeah.
yeah, when you meditate, how is your physiology? How are your limbs? How are your arms? Um, how's your body when you meditate? What do you find in your body?
Okay. We use lesser energy for that.
Yeah, you feel very light. You don't happen
Okay.
to, yeah. However, it is really, really empowering our prefrontal cortex, which is building our prefrontal cortex strength, which is responsible for execution of, creative ideas, generating
Yeah. Yeah.
more strength, building
Yeah.
resilience. All of this is very important for building resilience for adverse times. However,
Yeah.
in the moment, you feel very relaxed, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Physiology
Got it.
wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Regina. Great. So, all right. I hope some of us have taken the screenshots of this.
So, Deep, is it fair to say that the fourth quadrant is almost like a dormant volcano, which is ready to erupt?
Fourth quadrant, which side are you talking? Could you annotate?
The compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, inner peace, chill, serenity.
It helps you not to erupt a volcano um, when situations hit you hard, an unexpected loss in the surrounding. If you build this muscle, if you stay here, as well, it is said that you are able to fight forward and you're able to bounce forward in the times of adversity. So I might not be able to agree to saying a dormant volcano which is ready to erupt, but yeah, a lot of strength that you have built.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so sticking to our house rules, being very open, being able to share what we have. I would invite you all to share it in your breakout rooms. I'm going to put you in random breakouts, so you never know who you meet. 4 breakout rooms, and I'm assigning automatically. This is, we have got 20 minutes to discuss all those 4 questions that were there on the slide. Let's quickly see the very first one. Sapna or Priyanka, may I invite you to moderate? Is it okay for you to do?
I'll do that.
Okay, thanks. Room 2, Vimi, you are there. So I invite you. Yes, I'll add questions there as well. Sure. Hadi is there in, okay. Arvind Sukija Ashish is there in room 3. Great, and Payal is there in room 4. So I invite the coaches and facilitators in the room to please coordinate and moderate as much as you can. I'm putting the questions on the chat box as well, but you would need a screenshot to share and annotate if you want. Opening all the rooms. All the best. You could just choose to join the room.
It impacts people around us. And therefore, having recognized, what do you do? So we heard like self-coaching. I spoke about, I kind of coach myself and say, what do I do about it? I heard Richa saying, yes, self-coaching helps. And then, watching some of the motivational videos, trying to be in that mood for a longer period of time. again, that sort of helps. And then Abhijit put it across, being very uh, aware and being very conscious of the fact that negativity should not touch, and then you, as much as possible, to be in a mood of positive vibes. I think so. These were a couple of things that we discussed, and Jatin put it across that, consciously he makes a choice. If the quadrant shift is too large to a negative zone, consciously can one make a choice to stay in a positive zone. This is what largely we kind of discuss in the group. So
Very
for us,
nice.
the
Very
takeaway,
nice.
was to be able to recognize emotions. How to build having recognized the emotions, self
Hmm.
coaching, motivations around, a lot more toughness in the mental framework that we look at, and coping mechanisms. Yeah. And fairly be
Wow.
able to, deal with those things. Yeah. This is what we discussed. Yes, Deep.
So
Great.
I think
That's
I
the
need to
benefit
Richa,
of
contribute
having
Abhijit,
a
what I
coach.
felt.
Francis, yeah, please do add on if I missed any points. Yeah.
Very nicely summarized. Fantastic. So let us now look forward to what others have to contribute.
Sure.
Thanks. Thanks, Abhijit. Okay. Let's hear from the next group, whoever's ready.
So I was a part of group 1. So DK, Davinder, please contribute wherever I miss out on the points. The other two partners have left. So basically, in the first question, the main emotions and the quadrants that came out were varied, because some experienced one kind of quadrant almost to a 70%, and while the other quadrants, a bit of other quadrants were 10 and 20%. But somewhere, most of us fell into the bottom right, the top right, and the top left. I don't think there was any in the bottom left. So between the three quadrants, there was a ratio difference of 70%, 20%, 40%. The emotions that all of us recognize, the key emotions that came out between the four was love, compassion, frustration and anxiousness, anger in some cases, of anger towards not being able to do enough, or the situation that one is stuck in. But we also heard of emotions like motivation and passion. So some people thought it was a time to follow your own passions and keep your mind away from the negativity and keep it to the positivity. So for some of us, the anger and the frustration drove us to reach out to people and help wherever we could. So the negative emotions were put to good use, if I would say so. And wherever possible, we tried to get deep into the system. And with the result, the impact of that was, for some, they got a deeper bond with their families, because they were focusing on love, family, communication, reaching out. For some, we could reach out to a lot of people and help. Some we lost, some we gained. So it was a very mixed this thing, but at least it also made you feel that you were not sitting at home doing nothing. You were able to help people out. And some also experienced a feeling of gratitude along with helplessness. So they're two different emotions, but that's the beauty of the situation, or the irony of the situation is that on one side you're grateful that you are all safe, despite the complete family had COVID. Chandra's family, this was Chandra's example. And helplessness because you couldn't do much. You had to go through that phase. You have friends and family you are losing, but you couldn't do much. So these two emotions came out. For Somik, it was, since his family also was affected with COVID, his health started getting impacted, sleeplessness, burnout, stress, which impacted the others, because all the stress was coming out on friends and family. The frustration was
Yeah,
coming out on
yeah.
friends and
That
family.
reminds me.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely, Sapna. We don't live on islands. There is emotional contagion that keeps happening that we don't really are aware of as much. But all the time we are transmitting this energy and motion. They say emotions are nothing but energy and motion. So this energy and motion just transmits without notifying us that it is transmitting. And people very soon can get engulfed and blanketed with different emotions that we are embodying at different times of the day. So thank you so much. That's beautifully summarized from your group, and thanks for moderating the conversation there. Any other group would like to go? I see Vimi coming up on video. Vimi, you want to share? Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So we were in the group too. I think Hardy was taking a lot of notes, but he's not. He's right now not there. But we had an interesting discussion about how we all created a fine balance. There was a lot of people who were on the left hand side of the quadrant, and they kept on we all had emotions from the left hand to the right, and there was a lot of discussion I heard was created from passion. So how passion created that engagement and also the challenge part. That because you were passionate, so you challenged yourself. So Hardy was talking about how he challenged himself to do live programs which he had not done earlier. So how that was like a resource, from a negative state, he was always on the positive, and he was more engaged and challenged himself and moved on. And there was there was other feelings like hopelessness and burnt out and depression, and not depression, anxiousness and despair, but which were solved by appreciation, which was also solved by a lot of gratitude and being self-aware. So that was a conversation we were having, that once the acceptance came in, then we had to find strategies to cope up with it, and how, Vidhi and there was Vidhi, and there was Suman, and there was Ranjana. So how, she had to take some yoga classes, laughter yoga classes, how she had to keep others happy. And her coaching classes actually helped her because she had to keep others happy.
Nice.
So, and she created that for her. And there was a very interesting discussion about vision and mission. So for Vidhi, she runs a school, and how she created a vision for herself during that time, that she wanted to be different and she wanted to create something new. So how resourcefulness, resilience, and I would say, all the positive thoughts, came into solving a problem. And beautiful discussion with women also. And we used a lot of appreciation and appreciative inquiry and looked at good things. So I think it was, from my side, it was a fantastic discussion. Anything you want to add, Vidhi, Ranjana, Hardy, please go ahead. This is all here. So super group. Thank you so much. Yeah, Vidhi is, I think Vidhi wants to say something.
Yes, Vidhi.
No, it was perfectly put. Everything.
Great, Vidhi. You're doing a commendable job and inspiring others. Hadi?
To add on,
I think good.
Sorry, Indrajit. So I just wanted to add on saying, I think all of us experience all four quadrants, every day, maybe every moment. However, the choices that we make helps us choose to be in a certain space, either our vision or our purpose, or our duties that we have to fulfill. All of that encourages us. Even Indrajit was saying that how being a mother of two, and and under the circumstances, how for her compassion comes very naturally. So all of that. So it's a choice that we all make, and so far as we are mindful, I think it's amazing. And one thought just came in is, maybe in our group everyone was on the right side of the quadrant, and typically either on the top right side or on the bottom, is to also say, does the kind of work we do, does that have anything to do with what we choose? Because we are all in the learning space, or some of us are in that space of learning, whether that background encourages us to be a little more aware.
A little more aware and make wiser choices. Okay.
Wiser
that could
choices,
be.
yeah.
That's a good, intriguing perspective, Adi. Thanks. Yes. Who was the last group? Which group was the last?
We were the last group.
Okay, Arvind. Yes, go ahead.
So we had a wonderful discussion, and like Hadi said, initial discussion started with all the quadrants being covered, some emotion flowing from top and then bottom, and right corner, and then so there were discussion like Meda started with the discussion, and then we were able to see variety being played there, and then spoke about the positivity, the positivity he picked up, and the kind of love and appreciation he could use to change the circumstances, and the kind of bond he could build up with his family. And in the meanwhile, Ashish also shared his his emotions about the toughest time of his life he has gone through, like when he was all four people in his family were, including him, were under the and difficult time, and then the kind of resolution he made, and then he started posting the positive notes, and that brought him back, and even he impacted the other people around him, and that is how the positivity or the impact of positivity actually flew. And then Meda spoke about the fourth quadrant, which was on the right corner, and she had spent almost a full year in that. So she was totally into herself, and very serene, and full of compassion, and doing a lot of work on self, and the kind of a different zone altogether. Like she felt like she was in mountains. So that is the kind of we carried. And then Sumit also shared her feelings, and she was very positive. Her voice had a lot of clarity and energy. So she was in the top right quadrant, where she spoke about love, affection, appreciation, and the kind of energy she carries. So that was, she being blessed with that positive frame of things, and carrying everything. So even I shared my own example, like me being on the positive side, and then obviously there are circumstances which bring you down. So we are engulfed with the various emotions, and then those emotions trigger different behaviors. So you are being human. You are actually
We're
for
experiencing different energies in motion. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
so
so much.
yeah.
Yes.
So I it was a wonderful discussion. And Ashish, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, just one thing that, ultimately what we dropped down to was the emotions, they drive your feelings. And if you control your feelings, that's the behavior you'll drive. For example, what Manmeet said right in the beginning, anger could be used as a catalyst if you really are able to drive that.
If
Ultimately,
you're
it's
able
all
to
about your
channelize.
absolutely.
Choosing what to do with it. And as Hardy also said, I think this is the circle of choice here in the middle of this, these four quadrants, as you see the hand raise axis. This I call the circle of choice, where to go and how much to regulate the frequency. Just like, listening to different music at different times on radio is actually in our hands, and being able to tune in to the frequency which is most serving at in that moment, being aware that okay, I'm experiencing this, I'm able to label that I am feeling angry, and it's human to feel angry, it's human to feel frustrated, it's human to feel anxious. But now what do I do with this anxiousness? How do I move this regulator of my emotion and change my moodometer? And where do I go? What is it that I want to experience? So what's still in my control, I call it activating your Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. Doing that CIA with yourself. Some of us also said, we self-coach. Payal just said in the beginning. So I call it applying your, activating your Central Intelligence Agency and asking yourself, what's in my control? Is there something that I could influence? What is it that I need to accept here? What's the call here for me to accept and act then accordingly? So I think it's easier said than done. However, if we can build a habit for anything, like I recently built a habit of daily workout, thanks to some of my coaching sessions, right? So I enjoy doing it. Now it has become a muscle memory. I can't do without it. I just need to work out daily. Maybe it's just for 20 minutes, but I need to. So building that muscle memory for being able to shift the regulator and go towards a direction which is more serving. So I would like to leave you with this small self-reflection exercise. Also, you could just journal around these questions right now. So write down a brief description. I will let you grab a pen and paper, or should you want to make notes on your computer or screens, you're most welcome to do so. So write down a brief description of something in work that is a stress at the moment. And then describe the trigger, the resultant emotional response which caused the stress. Then I invite you to just breathe in, focus on your breathing, in through your heart and out through your heart. Breathe in for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out for 5 seconds. Continue to do this approximately for 1 minute. And you can actually do it right now. It's an experiential exercise. So I'll let you do that. Once you've done that, just notice how you're feeling in your body, how your senses feeling, your emotions, and what are you thinking. Once you've done that, think of something or someone that you appreciate in your life. Any moment, any memory, any person. And for 1 minute again, while you are visualizing the appreciative moment, just breathe in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds. Continue to visualize while you breathe in that appreciative moment of your life, someone you admire, you appreciate. Out. Positive emotional appreciation. Okay. Anybody could share if they're done. How does it feel?
Liberating. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. So, how could we choose to do more of this going forward? Thanks, Arvind. What impact might this have on us, on our relationships? Sapna looks very reflective to me. Sapna, you want to share something?
No, I'm just thinking. I mean, sounds great. I mean, but when you're in that moment, you know,
Yeah.
you don't remember to breathe in and out. And you should. And somebody in the beginning had said that, impulsivity can be paralytic. For me, I think that is one of the catalysts that helps me move, and sometimes the decisions could be right and sometimes it could be wrong. I agree. But
I agree with Sapna.
then who wants to be right all the time? I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because, I feel when you're in that moment, you have to give way to the emotion that you're feeling at that time. I could be completely wrong, and but uh, sometimes I feel it's good to let out, even if it's a negative emotion. One must speak one's mind, and one must follow one's heart. And
So yes, Sapna, being able to,
And that's how we will stay human. Absolutely. I agree with
yeah.
Sapna completely.
So it's about being able to share what's the energy in motion you're experiencing to the right person in the right moment at the right time is emotional intelligence, as per Daniel Goleman, the creator of emotional intelligence, and the person who conceptualized so many frameworks around it and stories. So I would certainly agree with you, Sapna, there. If you're able to be aware that, okay, I'm experiencing this emotion and I need to share with the person I'm feeling it for. So if you're able to share it and then being able to channelize it with your actions, I think that's more
maybe
catalyst.
in my self-reflection, Deep, I would rather get over it, positive or negative emotion, and say it as is, or act on it, or feel on it, and then maybe as a reflection later of the consequence or whatever, I might, as a self-reflection, think about what I could have done better or differently in that particular situation.
Okay, there are two parts to it, Sapna. There is something called stimuli leads to either a reaction or response. So the choice really between the two is only of 6 seconds. And more that you train to stay in the right hand side quadrants of Henry axis, the more muscle memory you build for yourself to respond rather than react. So those 6 seconds is the moment if you can breathe in and breathe out, and if you have built enough compassion, enough tolerance, enough appreciation, enough love, enough joy in your system, the most likely you're responding, not reacting, and responding is perfectly fine. Reacting most of the times can lead to harmful consequences that you might not have seen, but that's the reality of the situation. So yeah, I agree, and at the same time, I would like to add this.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so I think we are coming to the closure of this session. So I'll take 2 minutes to just comprehend what we have gone through. This is exactly what happens in our physiology when we are feeling frustrated. That's how our ECG looks like. Um, right? And when we are in the state of appreciation, love, joy, compassion, whatever we saw on the right hand side, we feel utter coherence in our heart waves. And this has been researched, hence I'm sharing. And what happens when we are able to build that positive state of mind as much, when we are able to feel good, do more, feel better, there's a positive spiral that starts happening, one leading to another. As Ashish also said, your feelings would lead to more thoughts of those sort and more action in that direction. Uh, and henceforth, there is a spiral that's happening. So I agree, we're all humans, and it's okay for us to acknowledge that we travel and we experience different emotions at different times. Perfectly all right. It's just about raising awareness as to, okay, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? How would I like to feel? And what am I generating for self and others? So that's the whole idea. And yeah, these are 3H care for well-being that DPCL has come up with. I think you could take a screenshot of this, and I'm sure most of you are doing this as much. Okay. So we say don't just sanitize your hands, but also your head and heart often in a day. So I'm sure most of you could spot yourselves somewhere or the other on the heart space, on the head space, or self-care. Okay. So how is TPC Catalyze? We have come up with the virtual coach training program that's running very successfully globally. It's called Transformational Leadership Coaching Program. And this episode that you just saw today is only a part of a fraction of 142 hours that we shared within our program. And yeah, there's a lot more that we have come up with that we conduct virtually for our clients. So this all happened with God's grace during the pandemic. We could catalyze by working with each other and supporting communities, clients. And okay, so I would just invite you to thank you, Francis. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so if you would like to spot yourself right now, how are you feeling? Where are you right now? Reflecting back
Hi,
on
Deep.
your. Hi.
Sorry, have I interrupted?
No,
You were
Davinder, no.
referring. Okay, hi, Deep. I'm Davinder. And first of all, thank you so much to you and your team and AD Arvind Dimri for sharing this wonderful, details and opportunity. Definitely, I think my takeaway is for today from today's session or your webinar. I feel I've never felt so strong. I think maybe you being on other side as a coach or other coaches would consider that this is what all are feeling or it's only me. I think during this time, all the emotions as listed in your slides, I have seen extreme cases, going, it's like a swing. It's like a swing
Yeah,
going
it's
back
like a
and forth,
pendulum.
right and
Yeah.
left. Yes. And then, pulling ourselves together and yes, no, I would not go to that extreme and let me come in the center. This is what you were saying, the center of emotions or that. So I could relate to that slide very well. And that's my favorite slide. I'll keep looking at that. Where not my swing should go. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Devinder, for sharing
Wonderful
your
session.
experience. Yeah, thank you. And thanks to Arvind for connecting us. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Kamini. I see your gratitude. Thanks. Okay. The chat, I also see Francis. Thank you, Francis. Okay. I also invite someone to put the Google review where you could certainly put your reviews for the session. And I think he has put it in the chat box. I'll also reshare it for everyone's reference. If you could just take 2 minutes to fill in, that'll be great. You would see it coming from TPC Leadership India. Thanks, Vimi. Thanks, Hadi.
Thanks, Deep.
It's a pleasure, Vimi. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Sapna. Thanks for being here, Sapna, in spite of your busy schedule and completely resonate with your feelings.
Thank you. No. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting. Thank you so much.
Okay. Arvind, there is appreciation coming for you. I'm recording it online. And Sapna,
Deep, thank you
there's
so much.
appreciation for you.
Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks,
And it is because of Arvind that I have got the opportunity to connect with all of you. So feeling very special. So one major takeaway from the session is like, before you put all of us in that breakaway rooms,